Hello, everybody, and welcome to February 1st. I am Carn, and I am about to talk about a bunch of random stuff that I've been doing and have encountered in the last week or so. So buckle on up, because here we go. So I've been home hunting, not house hunting, because I can't fucking afford that because I live in New York. So I can afford a few rooms, like a bedroom, a bathroom, and maybe one or two rooms. Usually just one room. So I've been looking around for one of those. I found some places. A lot of them are just like empty as shit and need work. And I'm just like, I don't know how to fix this. Like, I don't know how to make this work. Because I'm not like a handy dude. I'm like, I need a place where I could just like put my stuff, like a place that's like fixed up where I could just put my stuff and just immediately start living there, or at least fixed enough, so that maybe I could like change little bits at a time instead of having to be like, all right, I gotta paint this whole place, I gotta fucking sand down the floor and all this crap, fix the walls, fix the kitchen, like, because I can't do that. I need to start living there immediately. But I have been looking around, so I'm looking forward to finding a place where I can do this more consistently. Because once I get my own place, I don't have to worry about who's doing what when and who's making noise and who's going to interrupt and who's what. I could just, if I feel like working on YouTube stuff, I could do YouTube stuff. If I feel like painting, I could just fucking whip out an easel and some paints and paint. If I feel like drawing, I just draw. If I feel like walking around the house naked, I walk around the house naked. Oh, the freedom that it will all bring. So that's how that's been going. I've also been consuming media, of course. I was actually I finished Comey Can't Communicate because I was just laying on my couch and there was nothing else to do, and I was like, I'll just put it on. It's not that long, right? I'll check it out. It still wasn't good. I finished the whole thing. It's just a bunch of little stories. Oh, by the way, if you don't remember, it's an anime about an extremely attractive girl who suffers from social anxiety so much that she can't speak clearly, even to her friends. And it's just about that. It's how she interacts with all these very eccentric other anime characters. I don't think it's great. There's like out of, I think it's 7 episodes, maybe more. Maybe 10, something like that. There's 2 or 3 moments that are very heartfelt and sweet. And the rest of the show is just nonsense. It's just like anime silly nonsense. And I don't know. Like, I had it on just like for noise. Like while I was extremely tired and just passed out on the couch. But I did see most of it. The ending was another one of those sweet moments. There's just like a little message at the end that dedicates the anime to anyone who can't find their words, I think they put it. And I was like, that's really nice. Like, maybe there's some heart in this show, full of silliness. So I kind of enjoyed that. And then on the other end of this spectrum, I finally decided to check out BERSERK. BERSERK is a very famous manga that that will probably not be finished now because the original creator, Kentaro Miura, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. He passed away. I was aware of this series for a very long time, but it's like one of those series where I'm like, all right, let it be finished, and then I'll check it out, because there are so many anime series and TV shows and such where they go on for so long, and people speak their praises while they're going on, but then they'll end and they'll be terrible, or they never end, or the ending is swings the direction that people didn't see or whatever. So this was a series where I was like, let me see where this goes, let me see how this ends, or let me wait until it's done at least, and then I'll jump into it and check it out. So I've been doing that for the last 15 years, I guess. And the creator passed away, and I was like, all right, so this isn't going to be finished. But Berserk is an anime that or a manga actually, that's influenced so much stuff, like Dark Souls, Demon Souls, a lot of different video games, a lot of characters, a lot of stuff is influenced by this manga and the art style and all this stuff. Like I've seen tons of homages to Berserk, and probably even more than I can think of without realizing it. So I finally wanted to check out, where they came from. And there's a few different ways to do this. The best way is to read the manga, apparently, but that's 300 something volumes and isn't released in America, so that was off the table, at least for now. There's I think the 1980s or 1990s anime, which I had tried to watch before, and ooh, that is back when dubbing was rough. Those line reads are not so great. I might check that out next, but I think that's gonna have to wait. There's the new TV series, which is awful. The 2016 version of Berserk, which is supposedly just very awful. And then there are the 3 movies on Netflix right now, which those are what I decided to watch. I believe it's Egg of the King, Battle for Dorothy or something like that, Dorothy, and I think the last one's The Eclipse or something like that. There are 3 Berserk movies. They tell you what part they are on Netflix, so if anybody wants to check them out, I would say before watching Berserk, steel yourself, because this story in any of its forms is rough. There's a lot of brutality, there's a lot of violence, there's a lot of violence against women, there's a lot of sexual violence, this show is filled with all the bad stuff in it. And I don't know how, I'm not in it for far enough to see whether the story is worth it or not. I'm gonna talk about the show in a second. Before that, I would like to say that if you want to get an idea or you want to be inspired or get an idea of what Berserk is about, you can check out Super Eye Patch Wolf's Why You Should Watch Berserk video on YouTube. That will give you it's one of the things that pushed me to watch the show. The guy's really passionate about all the things he enjoys. He enjoys Berserk, and he convinced me that this might be something worth watching. So go maybe check that out if you want to watch this show, and then maybe decide. Alright, so now I'm going to spoil... Actually, maybe I won't spoil it. This is non-spoilers. So you can just keep on watching straight through. So Berserk, where to begin? So the movies, They're of decent quality. I watched the subbed version. I didn't watch the dub version. Actually, that's not true. I watched the sub version of the first movie. I started watching the dub a little bit, and then I moved back to the subs. The dub isn't bad. It's just when I was watching the dub, I was working on something else at the same time. So I needed to be able to look away from the screen every once in a while, but still hear what people are talking about. But the sub and the dub are both fine. The dubs are a little, some of the lines in Japanese, like in English, they sound a little silly, but in Japanese, they're fine. So I think the sub's a little bit better on this one. The movies are made with like 3D animation as well as 2D animation. The first movie is very rough with the 3D, and there's a lot of 3D. And I don't think it suits the show at all. I understand why they do it. They do it because it's more cost effective to do large battle scenes in 3D. But they also do it for like some of the regular fights, and it just doesn't work very well, I don't think. But their 2D animation in the movies is fantastic. It's so nice. There's some really beautiful backgrounds and stuff like that, and I wish the movies were in 2D, like just full 2D. I guess that would be super expensive, and I guess Berserk, even though the manga is influential, it's not super popular, maybe. So maybe it just doesn't make the big bucks. And I don't know, I guess it just wasn't in the cards to have it be fully 2D and fully animated, because I guess it would just cost too much. But the parts that are 2D in these movies, they really are very nice. So the story is this man who's had a very brutal life. His name is Guts, and he's a warrior, and he's kind of a mad dog, kind of lone wolf kind of person, just fighting, making money, making his way through life. He runs across this group of mercenaries who originally try to kill him, but then the leader of the mercenaries, Griffith, sees potential in him and recruits him to join this group of mercenaries called the Band of the Hawk. One of the leaders of the Band of the Hawk, one of the captains or higher ranking soldiers, her name is Casca. She doesn't like Guts very much at all, but she has a lot of fondness for Griffith and respect for him, so she just kind of goes along with what he's, with him recruiting Guts and whatever. The story basically revolves around these three and their dynamic while Griffith is trying to move up in the world and gain power. He has a vision for becoming king and doing something with that power. We don't really know what it is from the movies, but he just wants to be king, and he wants his own kingdom, and he's fighting his way up and schmoozing and all this stuff. He's very smooth. He's got away with people. He's I don't know how to say it, like a politician and a warrior rolled into one. He's also super narcissistic. You watch the show and you're like, oh, that's a Donald Trump narcissist. That's a very pretty Donald Trump narcissist. A pretty smart, version of that. Like a Hitler kind of thing. This guy, maybe not everybody will pick up on that kind of thing, but there's some real, sociopath, this person is dangerous qualities to Griffith that are, front and center, but I guess people don't notice because he's so charming, which is how actual sociopaths work. So I kind of enjoyed that. The characters are pretty good. The three main characters are pretty good. They're pretty fun. you never feel like any of them is really simple-minded or anything like that, or basic. Like, they're complex. Even Guts, who's just kind of a raging brute, he's got thoughts about the future. He's got regrets. He's been through a lot of shit, a lot of bad shit. And he's trying to like figure out what his place is in life, which is kind of relatable. And he grows throughout the 3 movies, and it's pretty entertaining to watch. I feel like Casca, maybe she's written better in the manga, but I feel like she's very she's a strong character, but I feel like she's a popular character, and a lot of people feel like she's a very strong, independent woman. I don't know if there's just some stuff missing from the movies, but I feel like she's very like, I feel like she's used as like a tool a lot. Like, she's always like suffering because she's a woman. And when I say she uses it as a tool, I don't mean like by the other characters. I mean like in the story. Like, she's always like having a hard time just because she's a woman. And yeah, in like the story takes place in like a medieval kind of setting, a medieval fantasy kind of setting. A realistic story about a woman in a group of mercenaries, in wars, I guess would sort of be like that. But I don't know. There's a lot of like, she has some moments where she's victorious and she shows like that she's smart and strong-willed, and like she has those moments that are there. But there's also a lot of like, oh, it's so hard to be a woman, and like I'm like, like it is, but it's like, the other characters have had, like Guts and Griffith, like it's not explicitly stated in this groups of movies, but they've also like really had it rough. Like they've had sexual violence apparently done to them as well. And I don't know. Like, I feel like Casca's like used and abused a lot in these movies, and I don't know. It leaves me with, like, I don't know if I like her character or not, or if she's just like made to suffer kind of thing. I feel weird. Like, I want to like this strong warrior lady, but I don't know. I'm not sure if that quite hits me so great. Guts and Griffith are kind of well written. I don't really have any problems with their character. Like, they have flaws, and the flaws make sense. They have strengths, they have weaknesses. They've both been through a lot of shit, like I was just talking about. I don't know. I feel like Casca turns out to be the weaker of the 3, which is a little disappointing. To me, maybe in the manga it's a little bit better. Maybe there's some moments that they just don't go into with her. She's not bad. She's complex and everything, but it's just like something's missing, or maybe it's just like the stuff that you see happen to her blatantly bothers me. I don't know. So it's a good story. It revolves around these 3 characters. The action scenes, they're mostly animated in that 3D style that I was complaining about before, so they don't hit quite as hard. I feel like if a lot of them were in 2D, they would kind of be more appealing visually. The fantasy elements are there very slightly, like very sparingly throughout the show, which I think makes it more entertaining. Like, it's more about these 3 people and what's going on around them, and I think that makes the show easier to watch, or easier to enjoy. And then at the end, a lot of awful things happen to all the characters, and you can see why the show is called Berserk. Like, what could be the like the trigger of that in the main character? Why he's so full of fury throughout the rest of the series. It's really brutal. It's really violent. But it is compelling. I just don't know like where it goes, because you know by the end of the 3 movies, that's just like the first few chapters of the manga, of which there's so much more, and that so much more has not been animated. So it's like this is it for now. Even if I were to watch the old anime from the 90s, which I was thinking of checking out, it's the same. Like it ends at the same place that these movies end, and then for more of the story, I would have to read this manga, or manga, I should say. Which I don't know if I can commit to doing all that, but I don't know. I think it's worth a look if you have an iron will. Like if you're not faint of heart and you don't mind awful things happening to characters that you're going to enjoy, that you're going to grow to like, maybe check it out. But if you're squeamish, or if you don't like violence or like really terrible things, like if you can't take that, skip this one. just play Dark Souls and enjoy the homages to Berserk without all the awfulness happening to people. Alright, so what else? I was also watching George Carlin talk. And George Carlin's a very like interesting figure. I don't find him like he's a famous comedian. He inspired a lot of the comedians that I do enjoy, but he's never made me laugh. George Carlin, I've never laughed at any of his like comedy shows or whatever. Not once. But he still fascinates me because I think he's brilliant. Like, he's a man going on stage to make everybody laugh because it's a comedy show. And I'm stone-facing through it, but I'm also captivated because he knows what he's talking about, and he has a good grasp of, like, how things are, and he's just yelling them at you. Like, and I was watching him talk about, like, how to pursue, like, how he pursued his career, and, like, things you should keep in mind, like when you're trying to build a career like his, and he, you know, he talks about like stop doing things that are hurting you, like if you're big into drinking and drugs and blah 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 blah, all that kind of stuff. Like if you're gonna if you want a real career where you do this stuff for a long time, you got to stop that because that stuff's gonna kill you. You know, you're gonna die early, and if you're gonna not be able to do your passion once you're dead, just stuff like that. Just like a lot of advice on like life, and it was really interesting. I would like to be a creative, you know, like make money off of creative things. I don't know if I'm ever gonna be able to do it, but it is something I do aspire to. I like making people laugh. I like making people think. I like entertaining people. I like showing people things that entertain me. So I don't know. Listening to George Carlin speak was very. It was just something that got me thinking, and it was nice to hear such an intelligent human like just kind of break down life. It's also kind of sad that like he's a comedian from like 30 years ago, and all the stuff that he talks about is still like very relevant and very like it's still the way things work today. Like he complains a lot about society and the people who make the rules and just the state of life, and he's right. Like a lot of the stuff he's right about. The people in charge not giving a fuck about He's got a lot of stuff to say, and you can see that he really cares about people, even though maybe in his act it sounds like he doesn't give a fuck about anybody, but I feel like he really does. I don't know. He was just an interesting fellow. A comedian that never made me laugh, but I still found quite fascinating. Let's see what else has been going on. It's Final Fantasy VII's 25th anniversary. The game is originally released in Japan 25 years ago. And I gotta say, I don't care. That's my favorite game of all time. It probably changed who I am as a person. It changed the way I think about life and who you are and stuff like that. And I don't care that it's its 25th anniversary, because Final Fantasy VII just isn't... It doesn't mean the same things that it meant 25 years ago. Like, they made a new logo for the 25th anniversary, and it's Cloud, Sephiroth, and Zack standing together looking cool, I guess. And I was like, this game... Like, the original logo for Final Fantasy VII is the meteor falling. And I was like now Final Fantasy VII is, look at these cool guys do cool stuff. Like, the original game was about more than that. Like, it was about the bigger picture and life and death and our place in the universe, and there was a little bit about being, like, yourself is enough, and like, it was about all these things, and now it's just like, oh, these characters, buy the products that these characters, buy them, consume the products. Like, they're saying, like, oh, we're gonna release so much Final Fantasy VII stuff. It's like, maybe just do the remake and then do something else. Please. I mean, I don't even want you to do the remake because it's fucking terrible. Like, the message is lost, I feel. But I don't know. A lot of bitter feelings with Final Fantasy VII now. It's just things have changed, and it's not, the lightning in the bottle is out of the bottle. It's not going to be the same anymore. Now they're just going to milk it, which is a shame. They're going to always do, they're going to try to make everything bigger and better. It's like, oh, you fought Sephiroth in the first game, well, now you got to fight 10 Sephiroths, and they're all from different times. Like, and you're gonna do Omni slash, the triple Omni, quadruple Omni slash times a million, and it's gonna be so animated, and your eyes are gonna explode. Yeah, so that's a little disappointing. I also played a little bit of Pokemon Judeo-Christian God. Fuck it. So I'm playing Pokemon Arceus. And if you don't know, Arceus is the god. It's a Pokemon who is, in fact, God. That a 12-year-old child could capture and make dogfight. That is the lore. So, Pokemon Legends Arceus, the first 5 seconds, it's like a glowing ball of light, and it's Arceus, and it's talking to you like fucking God from the Bible. Like, it's like, who art thou? What is thine desire? I was like, what the fuck is... Are they really going with this? Are they really going with the Pokemon God talks like... like Moses in the burning bush? Like, this is creepy. Like, have it just be like, hey, little one, like, or hey, child. Like, why is it like, dost thou want to catcheth the Pokemon today? Willest thou beggeth forgiveness for thine sins and repent, 12-year-old girl, like, lest I smote thee. I just lose my shit. I don't think I'm gonna play it for the channel because I'm playing the Pokemon Nuzlocke. I played Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl for fun on my own time, and I'm playing this game, and I'm sick of Pokemon. I don't want to force myself to play another Pokemon game for my channel. I know I'm not riding the wave. I know everybody's watching people play Pokemon Arceus. I know I'm behind. I have been my whole life. I will, when I get things rolling better on this YouTube channel, I will be up to date and keep up with trends. But until then, no thanks. I'm playing it for fun on my free time. I'm probably not going to finish it because I'm getting sick of Pokemon. But that's another thing I've been doing. And I think that's it. The Nuzlocke is going to continue. I got to record some more of that today. Gonna be recording more Blood Omen. I don't know when that's coming out. That game is a job that you don't get paid for. And I got some other games that I'm going to be doing quick looks at because they're like short little adventures into other games just to check them out and see what they're like. And I guess that's it for today's Carn Talks. Thanks for listening to me talk. I'm mesmerized by anybody who does and appreciate it. And I'll see you guys next time whenever I decide to do this again. Thank you, and till then, bye-bye.